about the wait there. All right. So today I got a little started a little later than I wanted to. But today I'm going to be doing another action figure unboxing stream. Been a while since I've done one. Probably be a while before I do another one. Because collecting's getting way too expensive. So you know what? Let's start it off with finishing up a collection. So we've got some figures from NECA's line of Disney's Gargoyles. I do have a Steel Clan robot already, but I've got a second one because for me, two is army building. And then this one is a special version of Broadway. So show you real quick. Comes with trench coat, folded wings, a couple extra heads, some Chinese food, a jar of jalapenos, and looks like a little bowl of chili. Let's start with the Steel Clan robot. As I mentioned before, I do have one of these already, but I also have Armored Xanatos. Stand with them. You see I'm trying out a new little trick that because I have use an NVIDIA card, that's NVIDIA graphics card, I can have it completely remove my background. So I plan to use this a bit more often. Jetpack blaster. Hold on, let me separate these. So here we have the wings. Some extra sets of hands. These are the wrist-mounted lasers. So they'll pop up out of the wrists of the other robots, and those are the blasts for the lasers. That one comes out easily enough. Get in trouble. There we go. And these go. Do these not go in the lasers? Maybe these go in the bottom of the boot, the bottom of the feet. Yeah, it looks like they go. These blasts go into the bottom of their feet. Put that over there. There we go. This comes from. Sorry, this comes from a jetpack that they have. So let me take out these wings. So I guess that's as far as the wings extend out. Whenever I get to the point where I'm starting to make toys and stuff, I'm gonna go for the simplest packaging possible. This stuff's ridiculous. There we go. That, those came out a lot easier. Tail, I can probably get out easily. Or completely speak too soon. Nope. There we go. So the tails have the little have have wire in them so you can bend them. I'm not a big fan of bendies because of like eventually the wire, if bent too many times, it breaks. I went through a lot of Gumby bendies when I was a kid. Those little bandies off again. Or on this one. This is going to be the tough one. Yeah, because they're wrapped around the shoulders. Just a little, taking off the glasses. I think it's probably been made clear how I feel about these little bands they use to hold figures into the sleeve or into the trays. I wonder if I can just cut into the tray and widen that space. Just push it through. Yeah, there we go. Save myself a little trouble. There we go. All right, finally got them out of the package. Okay, yeah. So these little ones, yeah. So these little blasts look like they come out of the feet. Oh, this one comes out of this jetpack. Tail goes here. Of course, the wings go here. Oh. Let me readjust my camera. There we are. These epaulets come up. Check the articulation. All right. Elbow swivel or elbow smooth. Swivel works. Hip swivel. Ab crunch. Kind of works. Ball joint in here and a ball joint there, so the neck has real good articulation. Now check the knees. Those seem pretty good, pretty well. Let's see what's going on in the feet. Those seem a little stiff, so I'm not gonna play around with them too much. As one of the quirks of NECA, action figures from NECA, is sometimes those joints are really stiff, so you need like a hair dryer or to boil or like stick them in a cup of boiling water or something to loosen them up. Yeah, so this is looking pretty good. I'm not putting the wings on just yet because they are difficult to get back out for storage. But yeah, but everything's looking good. So let's move this aside and make way for Broadway. So yeah, I now have two Steel Clan warriors, two Steel Clan robots. So basically, that is army building for me. As I showed before. So let's open this up. So this one, this figure, I have Bronner, you know, a friend of our stream, friend of the stream, Bronner, to thank for a gift card to a gift card I won on his stream anniversary. Paid for this, so you know he's not here, but I'll give him a shout out. Oh, he's even got a sandwich. Didn't see that before. But yeah, Bronner's a great friend of the channel. Hey, Steven, how you doing? Give you a shout out too. How's it going? It's doing all right. Figured haven't done an action figure unboxing stream in a while, and you know, so it's about time for one. And it's gonna be a long time since another till another one happens, because you know, figures are getting way too expensive, especially with some of the changes being made in the past month or so. Thank you. Playing a lot of Last of Us recently, but other than that, haven't streamed much. Let's go. I still have yet to play The Last of Us, and I've seen that there's a collection of both games. So I was I was mentioning, yeah, I don't have any action figures, but yeah, this is my first playthrough. I'm only 3 hours in. I'm playing the stream the whole thing. I've been hearing nothing but good things about that game, about both games. But so I was mentioning that when Brunner had his what meant was originally going to be a 24-hour stream for his stream anniversary wound up being almost 30 hours, or around 30 hours. Oh yeah, sorry, Steven. You gotta keep the language clean. Um, yeah. Bronner gave away some $50 gift cards to Amazon. I got one of them. Zesty Piggy got one of them, and I think Mally got one of them. And the that gift card paid for this. So let's take the easy stuff out first. We got a partially eaten sandwich. Not entirely sure what kind of sandwich it is, but we got a bowl of chili, or a pot of chili. We got some Chinese food. So this is, you know, themed after the episode The Silver Falcon, where Broadway decided to be Elisa Maz's partner in a sting, or not a sting operation, but in an investigation rather. And there's a jar of jalapenos. Trying to find, trying to beat this one gangster into out of finding the treasure of the Silver Falcon. So we got the tail. Let me see if I let me take the bottom tray out. I figured, and I figured today, yeah, it's a nice Saturday morning. It's rainy here, but whatever. It's just been rainy all the time here in New York. So we got oh, there's one of the little bandy things on the wings too. Okay. Hold on a second. Yeah, I was saying earlier that if when I get to the point where I'm making toys, making toys for whatever properties I create or help create, packaging is going to be simple. Like like an old back in the 80s when you bought like a GI Joe figure or Masters of the Universe, there weren't any trays. It was just a blister card stuck to was it blister card stuck to or a blister shield shell covered to a card back or connected to a card back. The weapons were kind of hanging out from the little in a little compartment next to it. Or with that with the GI Joes, but with He-Man, you had the the character and just the shell has a little indentation that pressed on the chest of whichever character, and just pushed them against the card. Well, the mini comic and then the card behind that, and then the weapon will just be by their feet. It's much more simple. So here's his folded wings. The previous release of Broadway did not have folded wings. I think it's one of the flaws of the NECA Gargoyle series that the characters had their extended wings, their extended out wings, and not not the folded wings. So you'd buy another character, a lot of times a human character, you get the folded wings for a previous gargoyle. And there's his tail. These extra pieces out. Extra hands. So one extra head. Here's the other. I do like when when figures come with extra accessories, especially extra heads. And back to the little bandies. I do not like these things. one at the ankles. Let's see if I got all of them. I think I did. I'm hoping I did. Yep, lift them right up and out. Okay. Oh, I see. So that's going to line up over here. Let's put his folded wings up and over. I have to. Oh, the hat does come off. Nice. It's got 3 little openings here for the spikes on his head. That's really cool. All right, so looks like they did cut holes in the fabric, but they didn't really serge them, so it's kind of messy. All right, so ball joints work, or the head joints work. Let's see, so elbow works, wrist works. All right. The upper arm swivel works. Okay. So ab crunch kind of crunches. Work. Knee's a little tight, not gonna move that. That one's a little tight too. So ankles, well, that ankle moves easily. When I was testing the joints on the NECA figure of Razar from the second Ninja Turtles movie, Secret of the Ooze, the knee wasn't moving. The knee wasn't moving, so I put a little pressure on it and it snapped clean off. So I'm very, very gentle now with doing this. But yeah, this is really cool. It's like the trench coat comes off. Let me center him. So the holes in the coat will line up with here. Should be able to just get those wings on here. No, should be able to. Maybe. Because the folded wings tend to be softer than the extended wings. Let's see, can I? All right, so that's not giving very easily, so I'm not going to try to take that off. Swap the heads right now. Wait, wait, might have gotten, yep, almost. Alright, so this is not working as well as I'd hoped right now, so I'm not going to fight it. But all in all, definitely figure I wanted. And now my gargoyles collection is complete. Because they stopped producing them. This essentially was the last figure produced. They did show some at the New York Toy Show, not, oh, it might have been this beginning of this year. And then they just kind of disappeared. But all in all, a really good looking figure. I do love that the hat is removable. I think that is really cool. Yep. All right. Some clear space. For what's up next. So we move, of course, Batman. It's me. I'm gonna have lots of Batman stuff. So when Dark Knight Rises came out, Mattel did make a Bat Pod, or no, for Dark Knight they made one. But I didn't get it. I didn't get that one. I didn't get that vehicle. McFarlane made this a couple years ago, and it was really expensive. But recently, it's dropped in price. This one online store I've gone to, so I had to snatch it up. So let me just get rid of these little bandy things on the side. I mean, there are going to be more, but it does come with a figure of Catwoman. Ah, a little bit of assembly. Okay. That's fine. But I got this at a fairly decent price. It does not want to come out. There we go. So it's got this This little box here, some extra stuff. Ah, yep. There's the figure of Catwoman. The goggles come down. Yep, the goggles come down. I have the Mattel Catwoman figures, one with the goggles down, one with the goggles up. Hey Zesty, how are you? You missed out. I was unboxing some Gargoyles figures. It's like one of the guns. Catwoman Batpod, a card. Got a little stand for Catwoman. These are the guns on the side of the Batpod. Doing well. You just woke up, right? I'm doing all right. Come to think of it, I don't entirely know where exactly you are. I mean, I'm on the East Coast, so I'm just used to East Coast time, and you know, some of our friends are on the West Coast, but in Central Time, okay. So what? It's about a quarter to nine, if I'm guessing correctly, for you. Oh, 10:45. Okay, so you're just an hour behind me. It's 11:45 here. It's got rubber tires. It's got rubber tires. Look at that. The Bat Pod. So the the box was saying there's going to be some assembly, but I guess it's really only these these guns. These guns. Sorry, couldn't resist. Let's see what it says. Okay, they go on the front tires. And I was mentioning earlier that it's probably going to be a while before I do another action figure unboxing because they're just getting way too expensive. Right? And it says, oh, okay, I see how the left one attaches. The tires are rubber, which is cool. But eventually, well, depending on what they use, if they use like the same type of rubber that like Hot Wheels use, they should be all right, I guess. And I was mentioning that I did miss out on the Mattel Batpod a long time ago. Oh, that's cool. But I still think I can just fit like the Mattel Batman and Catwoman on this. Because I'm not particularly fond of how McFarlane figures are an inch taller than all the other Batman figures and such I've collected from Mattel. I think it was kind of a jerk move to make everyone rebuy all these characters instead of just, you know, going, you know, just fitting the scale. That and with Mattel's DC Comics figures, they stood like, you know, like evenly with Hasbro's Marvel Legends. So you could have Batman and Spider-Man team up, or Batman and Daredevil, or like Superman team up with the X-Men, something like that. Not anymore. Well, has or Mattel's getting the license for DC Comics back at the beginning of next year, I think. And I'm one of I guess I'm one of the few people who is actually happy to hear about that. Oh, that one popped right off. But that is really cool. Oh, you missed it the other day. I finished up Jedi Fallen Order. I mean, there's a few things to look around for and probably find some more bounty hunters that are after me, but for the most part, I'm finished with the game. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, not the first time I played the game, but it won't be the last time I play it either. It's just a really great game. And I will be playing Jedi Survivor on stream too. All right, and it looks like Catwoman comes with extra set of hands along with a figure stand and a card. So this one, because I went and watched the entire series of the 2004 animated show, The Batman. I wound up having to get more of the toys. Like I had a lot of them that I kind of just I don't know why I went on a collecting spree back then when I hadn't watched the shows that much. I think I just liked the design of a lot of the characters, and so when I started watching the show, picked up the complete series Blu-ray. It doesn't have the movie though, which is a bummer. But I wound up looking up and seeing, oh hey, there are more toys that I didn't get, and I have the version of Catwoman. Yeah, sometimes a character design speaks to you, which is odd, because at first I hated that design of Joker. Like, I mean, I was hating on that show to begin with at the time because it wasn't Batman the animated series, and yeah, that was a stupid reason, and I'll admit that. But that design of Joker was so drastically different from everything that I was really, really disliking it, and now I really dig it. So I have all sorts of versions of him. So with Catwoman, which this is this one, they they released this as a convention exclusive, with different each one like San Diego Comic Con and Wizard World and so on. They packed in with a different uh, color color accessory, but the costume that she wore in the show is black. They released a figure in of just Selena Kyle in black costume, no mask. But when they released a full, in stores, in retail stores, when when they did a multi pack, they released a Catwoman, in full costume, but her costume was blue. It was never blue on the show, so I hunted this down. It's I think this was in San Diego Comic Con, I think, but I went and I got this off of eBay for practically a song. It was like 20 something bucks. If I can get this thing out of here. Yeah, I was showing you the Batman figures the few weeks ago, right? Yeah, I think I remember doing that. Why is this not coming out? Sorry, this is really holding on to the outer box. So let me. Okay, there we go. I bought this off eBay, and at first I was going to feel bad about opening it because, it was a San Diego Comic Con exclusive. But if you see, the original owner had opened it already and looks like displayed Catwoman. So you know what? I don't feel bad unboxing this and throwing out the packaging at this one because it's also kind of dinged there, and yeah, this I wouldn't have opened it up at the top. I would have opened it up at the bottom because I do have a San Diego Comic Con Justice League Unlimited Solomon Grundy that has a special packaging too. There's a pull string on it, so you pull it, it shakes. The packaging shakes like it's like he just like he hit the ground and it's causing a little quake. It's really cool. And he's in the sewer. He's in a sewer, which in some versions of Batman, Grundy lives in the sewers. This one on Justice League Unlimited, he was in the sewers uh, when his only friend essentially was Hawkgirl. Kind of had to old Yeller him. Although I really like this, I might find a way to save this. Yep. So this is, like I said, this has already been opened. I mean, it's pretty neat packaging. Yeah, it looked like a skylight that she opened up. Hey BP, how you doing? Good morning. So, we Catwoman here. This is a the whip is made of real string. And the voice talent they got for that show was amazing too. The Catwoman was voiced by Gina Gershon, who was a big star in the '90s. And it makes sense because the show came out in 2004, so she was still relatively a big name. Let's see, so the shoulder articulation's good. So they don't have leg articulation with some of the figures, like Batgirl doesn't, which was kind of a bummer. The hip swivel works. Let's see, head turn is good. So her hand doesn't really hold the whip, which is strange. I may have to put a little rubber silicone band or something and wrap around the thing. Oh, she got a figure stand. Let's get that out of there. Or am I just, I'm working too hard on this, that's why. There's tape holding this. See, I'm thinking about the difficulty it is to get McFarlane figures out of package. I'm forgetting this is Mattel. It was always easier with Mattel. Sorry, it was a political text message on my phone. So, so I had a pretty interesting discovery when I was labeling, you know, setting up the category for this stream. Past few I put like unboxing that, and then I looked at it. It's like found out that unboxing's a game. So a bunch of people probably came here when I was doing this, thinking I was playing the unboxing game, and quickly left because I had inadvertently misled them. I do feel bad about that, but I wish I had known that there's actually a game titled Unboxing. Oh, we got Silicone Band in that. Yeah, at that time, Mattel was using those a lot. I have a whole bag full of the silicone bands just from my Justice League Unlimited, or not Justice League Unlimited, my, what's it called? My Masters of the Universe Classics collection. And I'll still use them to this day because they're good for a lot of, random things. Oh, and it's in a vault too. There's a ladder. Interesting, but it's inside a vault. That's pretty cool. So, depending on what you got or where convention you got this from, the idol here would be a different color. Twitch is a lot better with providing niche categories now. True, but for unboxing though, there is just that one for the game. So I do have to kind of put this at just chatting. Which is what I put my first unboxing stream under. Okay, little thing there. All right. So these are the little silicone bands I'm talking about. Which I can now use to hold Catwoman's whip to hold in her hand. Looks like whoever owned this first used tape. Yeah, used a piece of tape. Alright, kind of holds. Might find a smaller band, but yeah. Sorry, it's very right now. It's very dusty. But yeah. That is the correct color suit Catwoman. And it just didn't even cross my mind that I just unboxed two Catwomen. Okay, so clear that out. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, the figure stand. we go. I think I've asked how you were doing today, DP, but I'm not entirely sure now. So, if I haven't, how you doing today, DP? So, still in the category of Batman, we go back to 1966. So this one is Robin when he was encased in wax. Cannot remember the episode, but I do remember that happening. Here we got Alfred Pennyworth and the Batgirl cycle. So let's start with Alfred. The loyal butler to the Wayne family. Yep, not the first one though. There have been a couple based on animated series. Uh, there was the one based off of Michael Caine from Dark Knight trilogy. Before Mattel's last figure before the license went over to McFarlane was an Alfred figure, which had swappable heads. So you could make it into this Alfred. You could also make it into Alfred from the the four Batman movies. Batman from '89 straight on through Batman and Robin. Michael Goff's Alfred. This one's Alan Napier. And then, of course, a comic accurate Alfred. So I do have three of those. Hey Yubi, how you doing? So you guys like this thing I've got going? One of my streamer buddies told me about told me what how he does this, and you have to have an Nvidia card, which I do, and just download an application for Nvidia, and it has this where it can just completely remove your background, and I love it. Chillaxing on a Saturday, so all good. How are you? I'm doing all right. Doing an action figure unboxing stream because it's going to be a while before I do another one. There are some there are some Batman figures I'm looking for. So if you guys go to Target, you can and spot them. Please let me know and I'll refund you. I'll pay you for the things and the shipping. Hi. Hi there, spammer. How are you? Guess what? You're banned. Unboxing? I thought they stay in the box, or not those ones. I am not a mint and box guy. Yep, bye bot. Yeah, I'm not a mint and box guy. I tried it, and it wasn't for me because if they're in the box, you can't you can't set them up and make a display of all your characters, which I don't have the space to do at the moment anyway, but it's easier to keep them if they're out of box. Hold on a second. I'm back. Sorry, my nose was a little runny. See, I'm trying to understand why people keep it in the box. They do keep value. They do retain a lot of value if they're in the box, and sometimes, in a number of cases, they do increase in value. But that's not my thing. And with stuff like this, I do like to keep the card backs, but that's about it. I was going through an old dresser a few years ago, and I found like my collection of the card backs from my original Ninja Turtles. I was kind of happy. I was quite happy to see that. These trays, man, these trays are killing me. So these are McFarlane, but they are 6-inch scale. So they do fit in with the previous Batman 66 figures I got from Mattel. So if you're curious about what figures I'm looking for, I do have a picture of them up in the Discord. It's honestly just a screenshot from the Target website. Yeah, this is the trays, man. These trays, they're not necessary. I was mentioning earlier how the original GI Joe and the original He-Man figures were packaged so much better than stuff today. So he's got his feather duster. Clean and smooth cut. For the most part, it's a little jagged in a couple parts, but you've got the red bat phone. Ooh, that's kind of fused together. That's Oh no, it's not. It's molded like that. That's weird. We got the we got the bat phone. These little bandies. I complain about them all the time. You've probably heard me complaining about them all the time. So I'm gonna see if I can just cut a wider, open or widen up the spot in the tray just to get that out. Yep, that worked. That's All right, okay, that's good. That's working. The neck joint. Check the shoulders. All right, shoulders are moving up and down, but not outward. That's a little tight. I'm not gonna mess with that. All right, wrist swivel. It's good. That elbow's good. That elbow's good. Okay, the hips move fairly well. Check the knees. Right, knees are good. Right, so his arms are supposed to go up, but I'm getting a little resistance, so I'm not going to push it. I'll just have to to pose him more. I'll just have to point a hairdryer at his shoulders. That'll loosen him up. But a pretty good likeness. That was satisfying to watch. But the after 1,000 years, I'm finally free. I'm finally free. Message away my old bones. Massage away my old bones for me. That. I apologize. It's dusty in here, so I'm getting all blah. I'm getting a little congested. So, satisfying to watch. Kind of like a visual ASMR. What would that be called anyway? Like, there's guaranteed there's a name for it. I just don't know it. So next up, Robin encased in wax. Like I said, I cannot remember what episode that's from, but I do remember it happening. It's been a while since I watched the series. It's been a couple of years. It's been a few years since it hit home video. If I'm if I remember correctly, it's also on MeTV on Saturday nights, so I should check. Stash away my little bones, woman. I love that. I love that. It's not a rum. No, it was no it was TASMR. It's just opposed to the usual opening or ripping of boxes impatiently by all of us at a young age. Oh yeah. Yep. Oh yeah. Definitely like Christmas time. Just like rah, rip that up. Nah, it wasn't. It wasn't ASMR. Okay. Oh, okay. I just misread that. My bad. So yeah, like I said, I cannot remember what episode it was, but I do remember this happening. So in this, I don't know. This did not arrive in the best condition anyway. See the blister, the the blister shell is all dinged up. So if you look at the card for Alfred, this is all messed up too. So it was just like I said, I'm not a mint and box guy, so I'm fine. So I think this arrived in just like an Amazon shipping envelope. Yeah, but I remember Christmas mornings just ripping everything open. It wasn't until, in my teens that I started just cutting the cutting the shell off of these things. 'Cause when I was a kid, I would just rip them off. I might have to get another blade soon. This one's getting dull. Now look at you, a smooth cutter. Yeah, kinda. Like, but this blade's starting to get dull. And then sometimes it'll either be really difficult for me to cut, like really difficult to move in the cut, and then it just goes, which is dangerous. Which is quite dangerous. Just keep your fingers on the other side of the cutter. Yeah. And what I tell people, I tell a lot of people, if you cut toward yourself, you're eventually going to cut yourself. Or is it still connected? Oh, okay. Oh, there. Oh, the connection's right there. Should put that over here. Some tape on that. So we got a little dust broom. And a bat spray. So I think it may be the wax solvent spray from that episode. Oh, yep, that makes sense too. The the cape is a little more rigid than they usually are, but that makes sense because he's supposed to be covered in wax. So when I was ordering this, I was reading the reviews on Amazon, and just some absolutely ridiculous things. The one that stuck out in my head, like a complaint, was someone complaining that this is not a wax figure. It's made of plastic. It's like, of course it is. Why did you think it was a wax figure? Like I have the episode. I have the figure of Batman where in the episode, Mad Hatter sprayed his cowl with a radioactive element, a radioactive spray, and his cowl turned pink. Now I'm wondering if that same person, bought the figure and then went over with a Geiger counter. It's like, oh, this isn't radioactive at all. So let's see. That is a those are tight shoulders, tight elbows. Yeah, he's barely moving, and I think that's part of everything on this, except the head, is pretty tight. The joints there. Oh, nope. That works. That one doesn't, but I think it kind of fits in with the joke that he's supposed to be covered in wax. Gotta keep that figure in the lead safe. Yeah. But it just mind blowing sometimes, the way some people are. Like, it's not a wax figure. Of course it's not a wax figure. Why would anyone sell a wax figure? I mean, you wouldn't be able to store it anywhere because it gets too hot. During the summer it'll start melting. It would be so fragile too. Yeah. Just people sometimes, But all right, pretty good figure. I do appreciate the cape being rigid. You can hear it crinkle. So let's. So next up we have the Batgirl cycle, which concludes our Batman portion of this unboxing segment. I didn't buy the McFarlane Batman Batgirl figure for 66 because they couldn't get the likeness rights from the family, the family of Yvonne Craig. I think a year or two before she passed, she did allow likeness rights for a little while, and Mattel got that. Mattel and I think Hot Toys. Whoever makes the 12-inch scale figures and so on, whichever company makes it, they got the rights to make a Batgirl in Yvonne Craig's likeness. So I'm just going to use the Mattel figure. Let's see, so we got two. Things there. Alright, so it looks like this opens this way. Is it? No, it's not taped shut on that side. Just not moving very easily, that's all. And this is kind of like a puzzle. I like this. Okay, so that opens that way. So what is anchoring it now? Hey, Roger.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Well played, well timed, my friend. Well timed. And well played. It's a cute illustration on the back. It really was appropriate, yeah. It was always fun sight to see Batgirl in the opening credits. Yeah, it's a shame that third season was a bit of a letdown. Like it was good, but you could see where the budget cuts were happening. The first two seasons, had high production values. Every villain had like a well designed layer set, and hideout. Third season, it was just a stage with a bunch of curtains. Like the budget on that show got slashed so severely. So we got a zip tie. A very awkward angle. And have you ever listened to the lyrics of the Batgirl theme for that show? Just kind of a guys, why are you doing this? Why are you saying these things? I mean, yes, I understand it was the '60s, but still, even then. Like the lyrics would say, like, "Whose baby are you?" It was like, dude, what's that got to do with anything? Why she got to be some guy's girl for her to be valuable? Yeah, go like it's more than likely on YouTube. Go check it out. Like, dude, she can be a hero on her own. She doesn't need to be someone's girlfriend to be, to matter. When I understood, the '60s were quite a time. Yeah, that is true too. Yeah. This is proving a little bit more tricky than I thought. Okay. Because I can get zip ties to come off pretty easily and still be reusable. This is just tedious on this one. And why gotta be like that? Yeah, that song is wild, right? Trying to take this zip tie off to where it's reusable. And plus, it's kind of a pain in the butt to cut a zip tie. But this is proving to be even bigger pain in the butt. All right. I have no choice, I guess. Oh, that was easier than I expected it to be. Fair. That was a good zip tie. I really didn't want to cut that. So let's see. Okay, so it doesn't turn. That makes sense because there's a lot going on with this. So the front wheel doesn't turn. Spins, which is cool. We got the windshield, rear view mirror, frilly shield thing. Oh, it has a kickstand. That's awesome. That's really cool. So that's a really cool vehicle. All right, let's clear this out. Next, we move on to Masters of the Universe. I think I mentioned it before, but in the later 2010s, Mattel started doing Masters of the Universe classics, and I kind of held out on buying them because I knew just deep down, that if I started collecting Masters of the Universe, I would never stop. It's 2025, and I'm still collecting Masters of the Universe. Like I knew that rabbit hole. But they released some characters I definitely wanted. Um, well, what happened was I was holding out for the longest time. Like I think for about a year, I held out. I wasn't buying Automatic Collector. I was buying like DC Comic stuff. And MattyCollector.com, the now defunct collector site that Mattel started. But they released 2 packs at Toys R Us. Um, like He-Man versus Superman, Skeletor versus Lex Luthor, and I broke down and bought them. So I've so I started doing the subscription, started getting characters I didn't have, that had already come out. Yeah, and it's 2025. I'm still collecting Masters of the Universe. So this is Andra. She was created for Master Universe Revelations. She's introduced in the second episode of that show as a Teela's partner. They were going on some pretty dangerous missions. Teela. By the second episode, Teela's a merc, and they were going on some dangerous missions. So I do have this figure already, but I also have the Teela came with her. Came the Teela from this set. But Teela did not come with a mask and a cloak. and this cloak. So I had to buy this another Andra. I bought it fairly cheap just for the mask and the cloak, but it's a great figure on its own. And Andra did wind up sticking around for the rest of the series and the follow-up series. So this masked head and this cloak Tila didn't come with, which she should have because they did show her wearing these. Lots of extra hands. She should just pop right out. Nope. There are bandies on her elbows. Okay. Those wonderful little bandies. Up. Some on her ankles too, but let's see if I can just slip out of those. I can. Awesome. But, show figure. Alright, head swivel's good. Alright, that elbow gave me a little bit of resistance. Not happy about that, but seems to be alright. Shoulders give me some resistance. Take the cloak off. Alright, just a little resistance in the shoulders, but the swivel's good. A little resistance in the elbow. So knees are alright. She's got rocker ankles. We got the boot cut swivel. Hips are working. So this one shoulder's not going down so easily. That worries me. So looks like it's working. But great character. She's an yeah, and not I want to say an inventor, but she can design. She designed all the weapons that she and Tila were using. Oh yeah, forgot to show you. So we got a little laser blast. It comes right out of comes out of her bracer. Now, I've been looking forward to unboxing Hanthor, because it's a Mattel Creations, the current Mattel Collector site, the packaging is a little easier to work with. So it opens a little easier. You should see this stuff. Like there's a line illustration. A little awkward, but yeah, a beautiful, beautiful painting of Skeletor astride Panther. Ooh, wow! And a painting of classic Snake Mountain. And this thing. Let's lift. Let's lift. Panther out of there. There we go. And let's take a look at more of the box here too, because beautiful painting. And then Panther, Skeletor, and Mechanic. It's a beautiful box. It's beautiful artwork on this box. Right, so he is held on to this cardboard with twine, which is much easier to work with. Because then I can just untie it. And just look at this. Like the original Panther was the same mold as Battle Cat, or the same same tooling as Battle Cat, which was the tooling for a tiger from the Big Jim action figure line. And the original Panther came flocked, so they kind of put it was kind of like kind of a fur type of feeling to it. This one is not flocked, which I think is even better because you get to see all this beautiful sculpt. It does share a lot of the sculpts from the Masters from the Masters Universe Revelation Battle Cat, except for the head sculpt. Oh, okay, that's this thing here is the other footrest. A lot of twine. It's much more satisfying to untie a knot than it is to cut, cut plastic. Just got this one. Should just be able to lift this right up and out. Take that out. There's a spear for Skeletor. And here's his helmet. Let's get this twine off of him. This goes right here. Go further back. Okay. So we there. This is gorgeous. Look at this. This kind of metallic purple. Oh, wow. Look at that. You can bare his teeth. That's awesome. Yeah, this is really cool. Hold on. I just got my back. Like my middle back is kind of hurting at the moment from leaning forward. But the metallic purple plastic is really pretty. Okay, so his head goes up and down. Joints are no, that one's a little tight, but this one's not too bad. Sorry, I realize I'm bringing it out of the frame. But, yeah. So tail, move. Let's see on this side. Got some articulation in the, a little bit in the, nope, the ankles work. Okay, so that works. So the rear hips work, the knees work. I'm thinking on a cat on a cat. This wouldn't be an elbow. This would be a knee, wouldn't it? Because that's a knee. It's a four-legged creature. Oh, Zesty, it's your birthday? Happy birthday, Zesty. I wish I had a thing for birthdays. Well, thank you for spending, the morning of your birthday with me. All right, so let's check out this helmet. Oh, that fits beautifully. Looking pretty fierce. Really bad angle, but yeah, still looking pretty fierce. I do like that the upper jaw can come out so it can bare his fangs, or bare his teeth as fangs, but they are fangs, but can bare his teeth. That is a beautiful, beautiful panther. And it will be going with my Masterverse Master Universe Revelation Skeletor. Okay, and the saddle does come off. Don't feel like doing that right now, but because it just looks so good with the saddle. So I think that's a good ending for my today's action figure unboxing stream. Thank you all for hanging out with me. Thank you, Zesty, for spending the morning of your birthday with me and being an awesome mod and friend. Yeah, this is a great piece to end on. Thank you, Stephen Sewell, Sewell, for coming in and hanging out for a bit. Thank you, Breakfast Bills, for coming in and hanging out. Thank you, Roger, for coming in and hanging out. Thank you, UB1 Kenobi, for coming in and hanging out. And thank you. I'm thankful you guys came and hung out with me. It was a little quiet for a little while. But I don't know when I'll be doing another unboxing stream. If you guys are on my Discord, you can see the Batman figures I'm looking for. Basically, to they come with Build-A-Figure pieces to build Bruce Wayne. So if you're in Target and you see them, feel free to let me know. I'll give you the money to pick them up and to ship them. And like I said, thank you all for hanging out. This is GhostMax8 signing off. Thank you all, and have a wonderful day. And Zesty, have an amazing birthday. Oh, also, thank you everyone who was lurking, and whoever watches the VOD here on Twitch and later on YouTube. Okay, there you go. Have a wonderful day, people.